Do not worry, dear viewers. I still draw breath, and so too does the challenge series. We've just taken 2 months off, basically. Well, I have. Being completely transparent, it's just because Forza Horizon 5 came out, and the honeymoon phase for that has only just ended. Um, in universe, what do you mean? The last race was just 3 days ago, basically. Yeah, 675 Racing will start us off this week in episode 140. 5 weeks to go in the current Challenge Series season. And we will get this 140th week started at the Autodromo de Interlagos, between two lakes. We are away from between two lakes. That is a great start for one of the debuting drivers. I think it's the only debuting driver. No, I am so out of the loop. No, there is a debuting driver. It's the one next to her that started on pole. Or outside pole, anyway. Tony Berry just is in a new vehicle. A GR Yaris. Scorchers in general have been really expanding this week. But no, the actual debuting driver is the one that's currently taking off with the lead. Katie Caswell. Driver from Thunder Bay, Canada, in a 78 Firebird. Let's see. That is the only new driver. There is technically a new team, however. Also, Thai POV driver. That is Chika Tsukami in Brazil. Yeah. Nothing really new here. But the new team is technically a team that has been here. It's just that they finally aren't, under Avenir. Instead, there's a GT Auto Bad Taku, I think it was said, or it's some variation on that. They're all in this race, like Harry Good, Isadora Battle, etc. They've all just got new sponsorship, and reputable sponsorship at that, and not Avenir. As Tika Garnier runs Penny over with the amount of overspeed she had. Barry and Battle are currently sinking at the moment, as they're 3 wide on the exit with Barry and Endo and Takami. There's still 3, basically. Now it's settled. Endo losing out, not being four-wheel drive. Barry is trying to run Chica as wide as possible, but it has not stopped the Nikon enthusiast from taking off with P6. There's almost 3 wide back here, with Dom DePrisco trying to recover from a very low starting grid spot. I think he was 16th or 17th, if I remember right. I probably don't. Did you see contact there? No, that's just, oh no, there was contact. It just didn't damage Barry's car, only Battles. He will let his teammate cruise on by. We kind of got a muscle car battle at the top 5, actually. Firebird, Mustang, Challenger, Corvette, and Brezza. You're not a muscle car, Chica. Get out of here. Yeah, a miniaturized Stars and Stripes competition is what the 801 car is rapidly approaching at this moment. The muscle car trend stops behind her. Actually, it's an Italian trend behind her, kind of. Dom DePrisco needs to get by, well, not anymore. When did that happen? So, Benny just misses the braking point. Endo was pretty slow at the apex, but that's no excuse. It's the job of the car behind to not do specifically that. So a pair of Italian cars tripping over one another. And Endo's teammate Cruz just watched this happen. Turfing is probably about to create another rivalry with an even bigger team of drivers than the last one that he upset. Nevertheless, Barbara Page down the inside of Kent Hunt, a battle that we have seen very recently as the previous championship. The battle for the championship was down to these two drivers, so maybe there's a bit of a, rivalry in a sense, but like, you know, the good, competitive, I want to beat you because you've beaten me rivalry rather than the, I'm ticked off at you so I'm going to kick your ass rivalry that we have seen so many other times. It's getting a little tiresome at this point. And I imagine those will probably never stop. Admittedly, I think the Challenge Series wouldn't be the same if we didn't have them. As much as it makes it a big hassle, that is definitely, hey, we're not sanitized, if two drivers don't like each other, there are good ways to show it. We don't mind the bumper to the back of the car, or, maybe giving them a little door check just to say, hey, I didn't like that, screw you. Unfortunately, it seems most rivalries like that don't really end that way. They seem to more often than not just be like, my end goal is to make sure that you don't even finish the race. Or better yet, you don't even start another one. We've seen so many over the years. Chica sweeping around the outside of Isabelle. Just the traction that Subaru got, the Mustang could not handle it. And Chica is up into the podium positions with 2 laps remaining. All told, it is still a solid day for Bad Taku, or GTAuto. Can you say BOGT? How about that? Or just GTAuto? I don't actually know which one's the best. Anyway, currently they are 247 at the moment. Could be 257 as Isabelle... Oh yeah, no, they were 257, but Hunt just made a pass on Aspinall, and Barbara is gonna be looking to do the same. Chica swooping around the outside of Perry Good at the same time. Gonna go to the next corner. Subaru should eventually have the advantage here, just on traction alone, but Good is not a slouch, He is, in fact, good at driving, but he can't defeat four-wheel drive benefits. He can, however, go down the inside of four-wheel drive benefits and sweep back into P2, just like that. Chica, I don't really think fought that too hard. I feel like she just figures, I'll just get him later. Probably right here out of Junsao, this is another traction zone. Traction zone that, this Subaru has excelled at this corner in Chica's hands. Around the outside a second time, not quite so easily. Perry's getting his elbows out. Perry, this, you casual. Looks like this is going to go down to the white flag to the first turn to settle our differences here. Around the outside. And Chica's gotten that one done. Quite a scrap for P2. Now Chica has just under a lap of racing. To do something about that Firebird, that debuting driver there. We've seen Caswell does have some raw pace to her, that much is evident, but how about a race crash? Can she keep the Subaru from just slipping by? Doesn't look like it. Elbows out a little even from Chica there, and despite going very wide there, never mind, Caswell's got a bumper there, Chica gives the room. Door to door, Impreza versus Firebird. This is not who I'm supposed to be looking at. Hang on, there we go. Defendi got into it again with somebody else. Maybe check that at the end of the race, but for right now, this battle is gonna go all the way to the stripes. You saw Eric in the distance back there. Overspeed Impreza, and this traction zone is gonna seal the deal for Chica Takami in the 801 car. 227 put up a virtuous fight, but you can't stop Chica's radiance. checkered flag. Chika Takami, Katie Caswell, second gun debut. Perry Good will round out the podium. His teammate Hunt directly behind. Probably was looking for a pass if there were 6 laps of the race. Barbara could not find a way past the 29 car. And it would be, 347 would be the only ones worth writing home about for the debuting GT Auto team. I guess Tate was 10th. Chica's teammate Yo really did not have the same kind of luck. Okay, you two got into it again. We need to see this. It was the same corner. Basically the same way. Deja vu? Let's see what Ando's apex speed is here. 40. Yeah, I can definitely see how it happened. It's not an excuse, it's just, I understand. Battle just backing off to avoid it, but let's see what Eric's apex speed is here. Okay, he's also doing it at 40. I don't really understand them. Anywho, victory goes to Takami. Caswell has done well. Get it? On debut, just not enough in the tank, not enough to stop that 37.3 kind of pace that Chico was showing. I don't know what she was on in this race, but there was no stopping. Can we look at the Impreza, please? Thank you. Stupid replay cameras, I swear to God. Anyway, yeah, that is round 1 in the books. On to the next. The second race of the week brings us to the rarely visited Nürburgring. Not for the Nordschleife, though. No, absolutely not. That's like season finale material, and even then, we're kind of reluctant to go here. Just because the coverage is awful. We can only place so many cameras around a track, you know? And then when you figure the track is like 13 miles long, it just doesn't really add up. So instead, we're using the sprint layout, which is basically taking the south half of the track just out. Take the hairpin after the stadium section, rather than go down the hill. Anyway, 600 class cars, which is the reason we're using that shorter layout, and not the full GP layout, which we do definitely use. Out of context, the other reason is, even when it's this layout, the game is still loading the Nordschleife somewhere in the background, and that tends to slow down replay response times, so I'll have a few black screens to probably edit out. We are away from the Nürburgring. Tony Berry again starts on the front row, and another new vehicle. This time it's Toyota Tundra. And Barbara is the pole sitter here, sideways as she heads out of turn 1. Taro Kitano also has a new vehicle, a first-generation Corvette, which really looks much more the part of Scorchers than Berry's truck. Leafa is the POV car in her Corolla 11. Corolla 86, you get the idea. 11. Toyota 11. She is in a big flock of cars heading down the hairpin. No debuting drivers to report. Just the 2 new cars of Taro and Tony. Yeah, there's that weird replay, like, screen hang that I mentioned. They shouldn't be as long since we are not using the Nordschleife, but sometimes that can be like a very long time. A big contact between Lipa and Stanford. Stanford just kind of turned in on Lipa, it sort of looked like. And he already had damage from turn 1, so contesting that chicane was sort of pointless on his part. Lipa's in a admin sandwich ahead of Thrasher behind Tyler. And there's another admin fighting for third, getting bashed, kind of just brushed aside by Lipa's teammate Sinon in this camo F-150. So a pair of trucks in second and third, and another truck in seventh. And then all around them in the top 6 is just American Muscle. That said, Lipa's about to change that, passing Tyler before we even get to the hairpin, and then outbreaking him with ease. Obviously, this thing is very much suited to cornering. No, really. It's an 8.6. I mean, just look at the way it's built. This isn't really going to be looking at much power here, even for the 600 class. It's by Noir, possibly, probably. Yeah, that overspeed will counteract any horsepower that Z28, no, that's an SS, Camaro might have had. Is it a Z28? I don't know, it is a Z28. It's just kind of hard to tell sometimes because it looks a little worse for wear. Supposedly all the internals are completely in good shape, that's just a design choice. That's what Noir says, anyway. Pair of trucks, Lipa's gonna go around the outside of her teammate and then switch places to outdrag the Tundra, leaving said teammate to decide who the superior pickup is in this battle. Barry kind of defending Sinon down to the pit lane wall. Sinon nearly just about runs her teammate over as she outbreaks the Tundra and puts herself back on the podium position despite losing the spot to her teammate in the Toyota. And we're about to have a battle of the Blondies, Barbara versus Lipa. Tyler is the leading male driver at 6th. Followed by a pair of Black Stallion representatives in Thrasher and O'Reilly. Auto Parts, why are you in 11th? Probably because everybody else has gotten damage, I would have to assume. Although this is a pair of EG Civics, so probably not too hard to pass, even for him, but I know Taro and everyone back here got damage at least once. Including Natsuki, who I'm sure would love to be up there with her teammates. Instead, we'll look at Lipa, who's just gotten down the inside of Paige for the race lead, Sinon watching in the distance like a colossus or something. Barbara will brake late enough to hang on to the position, but it'll take more than that to shake Lipa off her face. White flag about to be displayed. I think the lap count was set, assuming this was the GP circuit, so we're going to be looking at a shorter race here. Shorter doesn't mean boring, though. Sometimes it's actually the opposite. Around the outside, Lipa's going to try again, once again outbroken by the 55 car. Should mean a better exit for the 8.6, though. It does, but also that's the Corvette. So having to try and out horsepower is not going to work so easily. Sending it down the inside, almost contact, but I think it kind of intimidated Barbara. She kind of panicked to get out of the way to avoid making contact. Door to door down to the sprint circuit's hairpin. They both take very different lines. Lipa, I think, wanted a crossover maneuver, but Barbara, probably learning some defensive driving from one Logan Poole, sat on the apex of the turn, did not allow this whatsoever. It's a bad turn for her, though. Lipa is trying to take every single angle crossover attack that this 11 will let her reach. to be fair, most of them, pretty lightweight package. We're gonna repeat it down the inside, but this time the 8.6 is a lot more overspeed. Can she brake late enough to finish the job? No! Corvette returns the favor. The better chicane sideways is the Corolla 8.6, whatever the hell it is. Leafa. Door-to-door understeer for the 8.6. Barbara was quicker to the power though, and that is going to be victory for the most recent Challenge Series champion. Barbara Page notches another one. Is anybody even counting? Sinon will round out the top three, a double podium for Art of Speed. Tony Berry fourth with the new truck, followed by a plethora of admins and yeah, literally just 3 admins in a row. But it looks like Thrasher and Thomas are going to have a drag race for 7th, which the Roadster wins that, so Thomas will pick off his team owner at the last possible minute. At Rollins 11th, this is inconceivable. Taro 13th, caught up in early scuffles, damaged the vehicle, and put him promptly out of contention, but the W goes to Barbara, who immediately gets passed on the cooldown lap. I wonder if Leafa realized we're done racing. I probably could have just ended the recording right there, but I wanted to actually properly outro. On to the third round. I forgot where it doesn't matter. You'll know in about one scene transition. Wednesday brings us to the familiar Deep Forest Raceway for 7:15. Yes, 7:15. I had to think. I didn't remember if it was 7:15 or 7:50. No, that's the next one, I believe. I should know. I was in the race in both. I think I was definitely in the 750 class race in my Murcielago. I don't remember if I was here though. My memory is going. I'm like 24 going on 74 apparently. I don't fucking know. Yeah, Deep Forest 7:15. My memory is nothing. It's late evening here at the circuit, so I don't think visibility is gonna be that much of an issue. It's like we have headlights or something. Stop grasping at straws, Riker. Just begin the race. Nice flights. We are green from Deep Forest. Former series owner Gina Torini is on pole, but she will immediately be picked off by this drag Chevelle. Among others, wow. Brian Ice is going to immediately make a play for the race lead in the Diablo, and should get there. Yep. Gee, it's almost like you need a balance of power and handling to win races. Taro with another new machine at his disposal, a Ford Mustang, modern one, not the old one that he's been driving for a while. Oh hey look, it's me. I was in the race. Thought I remembered being in the race. He lied unconvincingly. And, oh yeah, new car. Angel Cruz also has a Gallardo, so he's the first driver from GT Auto to bring a second vehicle to the stable. And immediately gets whacked by Andy Summer, which damages the mono, but not the Lambo. Dominic DePrisco, in his own Lamborghini Gallardo, is the POV driver of the race. Yeah, that's all that there is to report. A little wide there, Gina. If we had an actual FIA or anything, we would probably be giving you a track limits penalty, but we don't care. It's an honor, honor agreement. What am I trying to say? Power moves second. It's a gentleman's agreement. There we go. I know English good. That is some clusterfuck of cars. Gina, you're holding up traffic, lady. 3 wide. Not anymore. Isabel's gonna... Nope, Iris. That's Iris. Isabel's ahead of her. Is gonna pull ahead of the braking zone, and Dom will pick off the RX-8, who is just sinking. The RX-8 does not have the power to keep up in this category. Oh, Stephanie's in the wall. No damage. I don't know how the hell not, but no damage. She just got massive understeer. Dom sneaks ahead of Iris. Hansen recently got ahead of the Chevelle. Oh boy. Well, remember what I was saying about the I hate you, I'm gonna kick your ass rivalries during the Interlagos race? I reckon we're probably going to see that. I don't think Dom and Wayne like each other still. Not that much is never going to change. I don't think. Still blame Crasher for him being back here in the first place, so Ice is trying to make good on his escape. He has exactly one Mustang as a... Madison, I think, just freaked out upon seeing Eduardo there. He has a cushion of one Taro Catano, but when Wayne Hansen overtakes it, if he does, I'm sure that's not going to be pretty either, because Wayne and Brian don't get along very well either. I don't think Wayne gets along with anybody, though. Bumper to the back of the 290. Unsettled Taro on exit, but it's not really been enough to make a move. Isabel's been overtaken by her sister and is still looking for a way by Palmer. Ah shit, here we go again. Nothing doing so far. Still 3 laps to change that though. We got a very long one in store here. A clean maneuver that was undone because Wayne Hansen got a better exit, but no attempted homicide. We're improving, guys. Fuck. Oh, Taro's making a play for the lead. He just got to the back of Ice and made some small contact. Ice probably thought it was Wayne out of habit, only to discover that that's a Mustang bumping into him. No damage though, we carry on. You know what I mean. Dom with a huge run on damn near everyone. Oh boy. Well, I don't know who's gonna be more upset about this one. Isabel? Or, Stephanie's handlers. Bumper to the back of the 29. And we turn our attention back to Dominic DePrisco, who just made a play for the lead. Big overspeed, also really missing the corner, and Taro Catano will go through on both Pacific Spirit Racing drivers. I'm sure Wayne Hansen finds that hysterical in his own cockpit. He goes down the inside of DePrisco, tries. Nope, still no bullshit from them yet, which is surprising. Iris has also joined the fray. Her sister duly removed from the from proceedings, courtesy of Stephanie Kaiser. Is Iris the lead driver on NFR? No. Oh, big slide for Ice. With a name like that, what do you expect? I'm watching you. Oh. He doesn't even brake late enough to do anything. Instead, he gets dive-bombed by Iris. Dominic has to turn out of the corner. Yeah, he's keeping at Iris there, not Wayne. What the hell? All kinds of bait and switches going on. And Iris just sends it in there. Forces Dominic to turn out of the hairpin. That's going to lose him 2 places. And, well, you heard Dominic's displeasured horn. It was a pretty long way back for a sudden Viper to appear. Third driver's usually pretty timid with that. Oh, that's not a lot of room left by Hansen. They bang doors. Dominic does well to save the car. Now I think we're going to see some violence. Nope, down the inside like normal. Are you okay, Dominic? Did you not take your medicine today? Or maybe you did take your medicine, and that's the reason you're not acting certifiable. Both of you, actually. Oh, that's pushed wide. Kinda, not really, actually. There was a car whip there. Is this like Freaky Friday? Did Wayne and Dom switch places with Iris and Taro? Oh, that's more like it. Contact, understeer from the Gallardo. First bit of dust kicked up by the two of them. It's taken an incredibly long time, all told. As Iris is caught up to the back of Brian Ice. The Diablo is lighter and has better acceleration than the Gallardo, so it's going to take off down this back straightaway compared to Dom's Gallardo, but Dom makes up the time in cornering grip somewhat, and especially in traction. If he can learn to use it properly, that is. Oh, Wayne hits the brakes at a flat corner, brake testing the 88 car. Now that is going to be a real piss take. Bumper to the back of the 250. And Dominic is going to slip on through with that one. So there are ways to hash out a rivalry that don't involve attempted murder. Just put the bumper to him and be on with it, you know? Get into the spot, tells you you're pissed, but doesn't murder a guy. If only they'd be doing that the entire time, maybe they'd have a little more respect for the pair of them. We'll see how many more Dom can get now that he's dealt with his rival. He's going to try and get Iris here. Nope. Outbroken by the Viper. Oh, bad cop. Brian still has a shot at Taro for the race win, basically, as we're coming down to effectively the last chance to pass somebody, but that Mustang takes off in a straight. 185 at the braking point. Ice has nothing to offer. Down the inside goes Dom. He remembers a couple laps ago. Just chucks it in on Iris. And gets the drive off as well, so he will get ahead of the Viper with that, despite missing the corner a little bit. Oh, he's got a massive overspeed. Taro had to let off for that. And at the line, that goes to Taro by a nose. Dominic almost stole victory from the jaws of defeat, but instead only gets second place, dusting his team owner at the last possible moment. Taro, Dominic, Brian is your podium. Iris third, fourth, numbers are hard. Hansen fifth. The person that I didn't even remember was here gets sixth. 9-10 for Urban Estate. Barbara could not repeat, to say the least. Competition was arguably a little stiffer here, I would say. She didn't have to deal with somebody like DePrisco, Iris, Brian Ice, myself, Eric in the last race. So, anyway, yeah. Maybe a little bit more peaceful rivalry. I say that, peaceful rivalry sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but they're not trying to kill each other or send their cars to the junkyard. So, we're making improvements here. Even more familiar Fuji Speedway plays host to Thursday's racing action. The 750 class will head here to a very foggy, misty evening. You can barely even make out Mount Fuji in the background there. But no rain is forecasted. Or at least no rain is expected. There's like an 8% chance of rain. But we're also only going to be here for, 10 or so minutes, and not even racing for all of it, so I don't really think it's gonna matter. Nice lights. We are away. It is literally 3 admins, 1, 2, and 3 on the starting grid. And it's actually gonna be me versus Logan on the way into turn 1. He puts the bumper to me, of course he does. But I'm still going to get away with the lead. Where is... Wow, that's not confusing. Oh, that would be a mistake on the leaderboard crew's part. That's not Lightning Rose, that's Lightning Larson. So there's 2 L Roses, but this one is not Rose. This is a different last name, guys. Come on. Fucking amateurs. Nevertheless, Mark Wilde, who's currently too wide with his brother, Kurt, is the POV driver of this race. Down the inside, they're still fighting for 14th, or the two Wilde brothers. Sideways for the SRT-10, but Mark is no pancake. Yeah, he knows how to drive that car. It surprises me that thing looks like a handful. I prefer all-wheel drive, and you can see exactly why, given the lead that I've already generated. The tractor's having a look at the 182 car, as the GTO lacks cornering speed, where the F50 has pretty much all of that and not much else. We once again have a new car for Taro, a Hellcat Charger. He has really expanded his garage at a feverish pace this week. Perhaps that is why he has not been racing too often lately, as Larison has damage, probably just a grip deficit that he couldn't account for in time. We have the subsonic Corvette just dusting people, but Mark Wilde is keeping up with it on a straight, which is crazy to think. Must have gotten a really good run out of the last turn. Mark following Lily Rose up to the back of his twin-motor Taro in a different Dodge. Looks more planted than most Chargers I've seen. Those things are almost always out of control. Buck has overtaken Thrasher. I believe Logan may have played a little bit of a blocker for his teammate. And Noir may soon be doing the same. Oh boy, dust kicked up between the two teammates. I think it was actually just understeer between the pair of them because there wasn't any contact. A pair of Corvettes fighting for 8th. Kurt Wilde is trying to keep up with his brother's pace, but is having a difficulty. Buck's sister also in the running. There's a lot of Demon Sports at play here. I'm not really surprised. Demon Sports really loves themselves their top category racing. I mean, they're already pretty consistent figures in each race, but more so here in the higher categories. Kurt with the with the crossover attack on fellow Viper driver Noir, and will easily out-drag that thing. Excuse me, couldn't reach the time. Justice Thrasher. These two have history. Not repeating itself, nothing Buck could even do about that. So much overspeed. Mark just gets really good runs out of the last turn for no obvious reason other than the fact that he, takes it properly. GT7 AI. Whoa, that's not how you do that. Now he's up to the back of the Demon Sports team owner, Logan Cool. This map, Black Viper goes around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. And now he's found me. That's the break for that. And, yeah, that was a little aggressive on his part. As he misses the corner, not really, only slightly, but he misses it. 3 dodges in the top 5, 4 dodges in the top 8. Yeah, it's a good day to be a Dodge. Dodge is running 2.457. Could be 1.457, considering the overspeed Mark Wilde usually seems to enjoy here. Even with the traction that I get with 4-wheel drive in this Murcielago, it is of no use to me. He's got something in that motor, or he just doesn't have much weight reduction. I don't know, what the hell. Mark Wilde to the lead as he gets it stopped. Not really in time, but it doesn't matter. I can't do anything about it. for with Wild here as he heads through the long right-hander. There's not much to see here. Oh, that's a misform though. It still doesn't matter. He's making so many bad hairpins he can't get the brakes done well enough, but it just doesn't matter. Noir is past Buck. I don't know when that happened. Now he's under pressure from his teammate, Lily, half-sister as well, and Thrasher's trying to stick with him. Tara's lost place to Lily, who's really making up spots here. And it's really just a big gaggle of cars all the way down to 10th, basically. Kinley's kind of there, but not really. It is basically just from 3rd to 10th that Logan is leading the mini train. I have some overspeed on him, but it just isn't enough. The slipstream did a lot, but it just couldn't get me up to him. Lily will finish the pass on her half-brother, possibly later breaking from the demon, excuse me. This is the Hellcat, defending from Thrasher, and being passed by Kurt Wild, who's not officially a Scorcher's driver, unlike Mark. He's kind of a freelancer, so to speak. Up to the back of Logan. These two fight for position seemingly every week, at least once. A pair of admins hired on at the same exact time proceeded to get into a scuffle the same week they were hired and have been routinely fighting for position every single time they share a racetrack. Black and red versus black and red. Ignore the black and red car in the lead and the black and red car running in ninth. Excuse me, Thrasher just got passed by Taro. A lot of edge here at Fuji, but it's going to be Noir stealing 3rd from Logan. I stick out amongst all of this DeviantArt Shadow the Hedgehog edge. You're just fucking Mantis Green over here. But, I will not be out dragging that Viper. I can get real close, but the victory will go to Mark Wild by about 2.5 tenths, if I remember correctly. It's going to be a drag race between Noir and Logan. He didn't give up. He's going to steal 3rd back right at the stripe. And his teammate Lily will follow close behind. Teammates, excuse me, Buck is still there. He's going to beat Kurt Wild to the finish as well. Taro 8th with the new Charger. Thrasher's at 50. Just doesn't have the power at Fuji to really do much besides just kind of hang on. But W goes to Mark Wild. I just don't have top speed to rival that Viper. Simply put, on to the final round. Stomach rumbling aside, the final round of week 140 takes us to Trial Mountain. My God, lungs, come on, you got one more race in you. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know anymore. I just work here. Literally, you run the fucking series, Riker. You do a little more than that. Nevertheless, Trial Mountain for kind of a roulette race? Not really. You might see what I mean in a minute. We are green from Trial Mountain. Only 4 laps, so also a bit on the shorter side, considering this is a lot of faster cars, considering Juan Santo is on the pole. Initial lap 1 scuffles and everything, but yeah, he's gonna get away pretty easily, I would say. I have this sudden urge to listen to Rush. I can't understand why. There are a couple of new cars in the grid for this final race, one of which is John Garrison with a 5th gen Corvette, which I'm told is actually his preferred car. Same, admittedly. And also, Ashley Akemi in a C5 Corvette, which has a lot of damage on it. And once we get out of the tunnel, we'll see a 996 Porsche with a pink pig livery, I believe it is, for Elena Lassiter. Alexis Aliris is the POV car in an F1 GTR. And there's a lot of O2 Vipers in this race, by the way. Iris has a shit ton of damage. The first set of corners here at Trial Mountain, just not conducive to anything except smacking people's fenders off. How many cars aren't pitting on this lap? Okay, more than I thought. Given how long we waited for this car to be added to the game, this just looks so real, you know? We have waited, like 3 years for this car. I hold the belief that it was like some kind of like ancient sealed god or something that Horizon 5 awakened, and then as soon as it emerged from its slumber, it's like, alright, fuck it, I'm off to Gran Turismo. Out of context, expect to see a lot more examples of this car as time goes on. I'm just gonna say that for a list of reasons. Santo is just uncontested. There's nothing Kurt Wilde can do. There's not much you can do about me, either. Slipstream, trying to out-drag a McLaren F1. Admittedly, it goes about as well as you'd expect, but I almost get him under the brakes. Hansen defending from a 750 class car in a 715 Diablo is a very Wayne Hansen thing to be doing. Yeah, that's what, 5, 6, 7, 2002 Vipers, as Barry's gonna get dusted by this fake C5R. Yeah, that's right, I forgot. Yeah, Juan Santo raced an ARC not long ago. He made a basically a guest appearance, as far as I understand, as a test driver. Oh my god, he's like short shifting and everything. When did I do that again? Oh yeah, Kurt Wilde and I both just fucking missed that hairpin, but I'm 4-wheel drive, so I take off quicker afterward. I basically hit him with like a rally overtake, and he's still continuing to slide around as he's trying to get back up to me. I forced the former F1 driver into a big mistake. I then followed that same mistake, but I capitalized on his mistake, so it still counts as a win for me. And speaking of capitalizing, that is going to be a very good exit for the McLaren GTR. Will embarrass the F50 on the straightaway that follows. Very expensive top 5, by the way. F50, McLaren F1, GTR, regular McLaren F1, Murcielago, and then a Steel K GTR road-going variant with modified aero to look like the race car. Yeah, you can see, it's hard to see because of the camera's completely changing, but this is an experimental car for their endurance championship. I think it says experimental somewhere on there, if I remember right. Yeah, it's beneath the GT board and the number board on the car. There it is. You can see it in the tunnel lighting. He doesn't have much for straight line speed right now, but he's got such a massive lead of like 6 seconds or so, which I am eating into as the race goes on, but that's a big deficit to make up in a lap and a half. We're about to have a battle of McLaren F1s, basically like $35 million going through one hairpin, and Kurt Wilde just has no resistance. The increased grip of the F1 GTR will allow her to easily pass. not gonna be long before she gets up to me as well. She and Juan are friends. I imagine she's probably learned some driving tips from him, along with some of her own skills. But, I mean, let's do the gap here. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just shy of 6 seconds between him and me. As we're on the white flag, or what? We are seeing the white flag in the air. Alexis just crosses my shit over. Enhanced downforce, it's basically a GT3 car, pretty much. There's not a whole lot I can do there, all things considered, besides just tip my cap, that I don't really wear hats very often. But, you know, figure of speech and all that shit. This is a battle. Not a very long one, I don't think, but that's definitely a battle. This is a battle. Oh my god, this is a clusterfuck. Carrera GT, Viper, C5, 996. I've seen this before, I know I have. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. And in a handful of seconds, Monsanto will also have be in a place he's been in before. Probably Victory Lane. Alexis is out of time. I think she's definitely the faster car at the moment, but that's probably just because Juan Santo has taken his foot off the metaphorical gas. He's literally just cruising as he heads to the final 2 hairpin turns, basically. Gets all of the curb. Alexis doesn't take any of the curb, neither do I. Uncontested, Juan Santo will start from pole and take victory at Trial Mountain. A friend of his, Alexis Alaris, gets second, and I just get third. There's not much I can really do about that, but just witness. But I beat an F1 driver, former F1 driver.